I'm not a huge practicer though. Like it's just something that I'm never, I don't enjoy sitting on the range beating balls. Like it's just not my thing. I never have. And so, I don't practice a lot. Like I will sit on the range and I'll hit a bunch of wedges, but that's about it. I'd rather go out and play around the golf. And when I do need to practice though, I've got no problem. Or I do like to. If I need to, then yeah, I sit on the range and I'll practice and I'll figure out whatever I need to figure out. Yeah, other than that, but I do put a lot of time in, and off the course in the gym, and but sure, I mean, they probably do, but I don't really talk about it either. So, but yeah, practice. If I'm just gonna practice for a day, I go to the gym in the mornings, and I'm usually in there for an hour and a half, or then I'll practice for maybe an hour and a half too. I'll do maybe 30 minutes, putting. And then I'll, hit balls for 30 minutes, and then maybe, work on the short game for 30 minutes. I've always gone to the gym, but not as disciplined as I have been the last few years. So the first part of my, say, pro career is more, I'd go for a couple weeks, and I might take a couple weeks off, and then, 3 weeks, and then I might, take a month off, or, it's kind of one of those things. I just wasn't consistent. Where now, I'm consistent no matter what. I do take time off. Like I'll take a week off from the gym, just like I know when I need a week off. And so I know it makes me feel better. I feel like I swing better. I got, don't have to work as hard to get it, the ball to go where I want to, but why it makes it better, you gotta ask my coach for that. I'm not supposed to know that kind of stuff. I know my golf swing, just better than anyone. Working with different coaches, seeing it on video, and I know what works in my swing, and so most of the time I can generally figure it out myself if I go out to the range. That's because I know my swing, and I know what my tendencies are, and generally I know how to fix them. Sometimes I don't, and that's when I call my coach. Most of the time I can, I'll call Butch and just tell him what the ball's doing and what I'm feeling, and he'll give me something to try, and generally usually it works. And, I have a few videos of when I'm playing really well that I'll watch, and usually from watching those I'll check my setup and make sure I'm still setting up that way, and watch my takeaway and stuff. But as far as other people breaking down my swing, everyone's got a different opinion, and I don't really care to hear it. The video that I watch mostly is the one from the highlights from Riviera. But that was kind of the start of the stretch where I played really well, where I won match play. I won WGC Mexico and Riv all in a row. Yeah. Or U.S. Open highlights from 16 too, because I felt like even from there, even the beginning of 16, all the way through 16, and then 17. I felt like everything was super consistent. I felt good every single week. The shape of the ball was the same. So I was just felt like I had it really dialed in for a long stretch there until I got hurt. There's still a lot of similarities in the swing. The swing hadn't really changed much. Just it kind of changed the shape of the ball. I used to hit a big draw, and now I move it left to right. So right when I started working with Butch, we probably worked for 5 years on hitting a cut before I'd actually hit one, considered hitting one in a tournament from the middle of the fairway. It was probably, 3 years ago, I think. 15 or the end of 15. It was during the off season. I was struggling, with the driver. I wasn't driving it how I wanted to, and I was, even my irons I was just struggling. So it was mostly with the driver. And so I was playing out at Sherwood, and I was like, all right, I'm going to cut it today. And so I just hit cut shot all day. Shot, played well. And so next day I went out and I was like, I'm just going to cut it on every shot. Didn't matter what flag, when I just cut every ball. And it was 3 days in a row, and I played pretty well 3 days in a row. And ever since then, I just cut it. Pretty much as simple. It's as simple as that. I just felt like I had more control. I drove it better. I was, wasn't hitting as many balls out of play. And the reason I started fading it with the driver was to get my misses tighter, because I've always been a good driver of the ball, but when I drew it, I had, I could hit one way left or way right, where, I still can do that, but it doesn't happen as much. And I felt like, the margin of misses went from here to here. So I think I played my game. If the hole calls for a certain shot, I'll hit it. If I can be aggressive and, I'm comfortable with, taking over stuff, or, if I have the shot, I'll hit that. I'm not afraid to hit shots, and I'm not afraid to play aggressive, but, if it's the smart play, then I'll do it. If it's not, if there's too much trouble, or, it's a shot you shouldn't hit, then, I have no problem laying up, or whatever it calls for. Advice that I have for people, if they don't have a coach, maybe go take a lesson. Try to understand your game and your swing, and, and kind of know your limits, and kind of understand your tendencies, and, I think that'll definitely help you get better.